Now at 5, Kenosha is getting ready for more tense days, just hours away now from debating an emergency declaration.
A decision is expected any day now on whether the police officer who shot Jacob Blake last summer will face charges. We have team coverage tonight. Governor Evers has authorized the Wisconsin National Guard to help enforcement in Kenosha in the event of any unrest.
We'll begin with our Ben Jordan. He's live outside the Kenosha County Courthouse with the precautions they already have in place there. Ben.
Stephen Carroll, Governor Evers says 500 Wisconsin National Guard troops will be headed to Kenosha at the request of local authorities. In fact, this entire area of downtown Kenosha looks almost identical to the way it did in the days after the Blake shooting. Protective metal fencing wraps around the courthouse, barricades block the nearby streets, and a heavy law enforcement presence is already patrolling the area.
It doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good.
Tanya McLean is the executive director of Leaders of Kenosha. The protest group is calling for a peaceful response to the district attorney's decision whether to charge Officer Rustin Shesky for shooting Jacob Blake.
It's difficult to control what people come into this town and do.
Kenosha city leaders are expected to sign off on an emergency declaration Monday night, designating a protest demonstration space, road closures, and a citywide curfew for the 8 days following the DA's ruling. Despite the precautions, Tanya still worries the city could see a repeat of the unrest that devastated downtown 5 months ago.
I am concerned about it because we know that a lot of the violence and rioting and looting that happened last time around did not happen from people who live in this community.
Just about every business in downtown Kenosha is boarded up as they await the DA's decision. Shenanigans Bar and Liquor Store is reusing the same plywood that covered its doors and windows in late August.
We're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best.
General Manager Kevin Rash says 3 of his stores were targeted last time. He says the business community, their employees, and residents can't afford another hit.
There's people living in some of these places. I got tenants living up above my places. So whatever you need to do, just do it peacefully and, give your support for whatever side you're on.
And as of tonight, it remains unclear as to when the district attorney will make his decision. Kenosha police say they were told it would happen within the first 2 weeks of the month. Reporting live outside the Kenosha County Courthouse, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.
Ben, thank you. The American Civil Liberties Union of Wisconsin is objecting to possible citywide curfews, saying, quote, peaceful protesters must be allowed to make their voices heard without fear of being harassed, assaulted, or mistreated by officers charged with protecting them. The family of Jacob Blake is calling for peace ahead of this decision.
Let's now send it over to Tony Atkins. He is live in Kenosha County with more. Tony.
That's right. We have shades of summer here in Kenosha. The marching continuing on behalf of Jacob Blake here as they await a decision with Officer Rustin Shesky. You take a look right behind me. This is the group. They just started marching less than 5 minutes ago. Today's march led by the Blake family. Justin Blake and Jacob Blake Sr. spoke today. They say that Jacob is doing well. He's mentally well. He's recovering still. But they haven't heard from the decision makers on what will happen with Officer Rustin Shesky. As you can imagine, the family wants Shesky charged, convicted, and fired from the Kenosha Police Department. Here's what Justin Blake had to say regarding his nephew's recovery.
This police officer Shesky needs to be fired, indicted, have his day in court, and convicted. And until we get that as a Blake family, we're not leaving Kenosha, Wisconsin.
Yeah, so this is a live look right here. You see Justin Blake right here leading this march. We're going to follow along today, monitor the situation. They should end up in a nearby park, and we'll have the latest from both Justin Blake and Jacob Blake Sr. later on this evening. For now, I'm live in Kenosha. Tony Atkins, TMJ4 News.
Tony, thank you very much. We know you'll stay on top of this. Meantime, 2 $10 million claims have been filed against Kenosha officials on behalf of 2 protesters who were shot during riots. Attorneys say city and county officials played a role in events leading up to both of those shootings.